So hello guys, in this video, I will show you how to do selection sort. See, the idea is simple. Select the minimum, swap it to leftmost index, which is not sorted. So here we have an array and we have three pointers and the array is not sorted. And we have a three pointers I, j and min. So I will be pointing to 0 and going all the way to n. This is the iteration of out of for loop. Then we have j, which will be pointing to I plus 1 and going all the way to n. This is the iteration of inner for loop. Then we have a minimum, which is initially pointing to I, which is 0. So now what we have to do, we have to check that is the j, the index element, is less than the minimum or not. So in this case, j is pointing to I, which is 1, and 1. Is it less than 5? Yes, it is. So what we do, we will just move from minimum to j. So now the minimum will become 1. And this j will now move to 2. And now j will be pointing to j plus 2, which is 2. Now we'll check, is j less than minimum? No, it's not. 2 is not less than 1. So this will again just move to 3. Now is, then the index will be, now is 3 less than minimum? No, it's not. So again, just j will move to the next element, which is 4. Now the value is, the index is 4 and the value is also 4. Now is 4 less than 1? No, it's not. So this will be the end of this inner for loop. This will be outside the loop and this loop will break. And after this inner for loop, first iteration, we have a minimum value. We have a first minimum value. So if this is the minimum, this has to be at the left, at the ith index. So we will just swap them. After swapping, this will become 1 and this will become 5. And if you observe, this part of the array is sorted. So now we can just move this I to the next element, and now I will be pointing to 1. I'll just change the value. I is 1. If I is 1, then j will become I plus 1, which is 2. Now if I is 2, then minimum will also be I. So our minimum is 2. Now we have to check, is jth element is less than the minimum or not. The minimum was 5 and jth element is 2. So yes, 2 is minimum. So we will just move this minimum index to 2. So I'll change the value 2. Now j will go to the next element. It is 3. Now is, I'll change the index. Now is 3 less than 2? No, it's not. So j will go to the next element. I'll come here, change the value 4. Now is 4 less than 2? No, it's not. So j will be out of loop and this inner loop will break. And we have a minimum, which is 2. Now we have to swap the I minimum. So after swapping, this element will become 2 and this will become 5. And if you observe again, so this part of the element and the array is sorted. So we will just move our I to next element. And this will become 2. And so if I is 2, then j will be I plus 1. So this will be 3. And we have to again check, is j less than the minimum? So 3 less than 5? Yes, it is. So the minimum will be 3. And here remember that the minimum is not showing the value, but it is showing the index of minimum. So in this case, the both are same. So this minimum will be 3. This is the index of the element, index of the minimum element. Now, since we have that, now j will go to the next element. Now j is pointing to 4. Now we'll check if 4 less than 3. No, it's not. This will be out of loop. And we have a next minimum, which is 3. So now we just have to swap the fourth element with the third index element. So after swapping, this will become 3 and this will become 5. Then after that, I will go to the next element. I will change the index. I will point into 3 and min will also be 3 and j will point into 4. Protection. So now we'll check is the jth element is less than the minimum. Yes, it is. 4 is less than 5. So we change our minimum to here. The minimum is pointing to fourth index and j will become 5. The next element, since there is no element, so we have the minimum again. We just have to swap these two elements, elements. After swapping, this will be 4 and this will be 5. We don't need them anymore, so I'll just, and as I said before, the ith index will be traversing from 0 to n minus 1. So here this n minus 1, this will also get out of the for loop. So now if you observe, now we have a sorted effect. We just have to implement this logic in our code. So now I will show you the code of this function. So I have an main function which has an array unsorted, then the size of an array, then I have called the function, then I have pinned the for loop after sorting. So I have declared this function here. Now, as I said before, we will be having a outer for loop and which has I, which will be iterating from 0 to n minus 1. So I get n minus 1. Then I plus plus. This function takes two things. One is the array and the size of an array. So now we have to declare a minimum which will point into I. Then the inner for loop j is equals to I plus 1, j is less than n, and j plus plus. Now we have to check that if the array of g element is it less than the minimum. If it is, then change the minimum to j. I know. Okay. Now, so if the index element, if it is less than the minimum, just change the minimum to that index. So after one iteration, we will have the minimum element and just swap the minimum with the I. So this is the function that will do selection sort. So now if I just run this code, I have to get an output. This. So I will run the function and yeah, I got the output correctly. So this function is correct. And this is how we do selection sort. Thank you.